Did you know that it snows on Mars? Hey, curious kids, Kevin here.
Hi, Kevin. I'm your biggest fan.
We're going to learn what the temperature is on Mars. But first, quick question. What gives off the most heat in our solar system? The sun, that bright ball of fire in the sky. Now, Mars is 229 million kilometers, or 142 million miles away from the sun. That's 1.5 times further away than our home planet Earth. Earth is 150 kilometers, or 93 million miles away from the sun. And since Mars is further away, it's probably not as warm. Think about it. Think about sitting around a fire. If you're too close, it can be too hot, and then you back away and it gets cooler. The same thing with the planets, possibly. Now let's look at Earth quick. What is the hottest temperature that we have on record? Do you think it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit? More than 100? 200? The biggest number that we read on a thermometer here on Earth is 136 degrees Fahrenheit, or 58 degrees Celsius. That's hot. Now what about the coldest? Now, not surprisingly, it comes from the South Pole, Antarctica, coming in at a staggering negative 126 degrees Fahrenheit, or minus 88 degrees Celsius. That's cold. But the average temperature on Earth is 57 degrees Fahrenheit, or 14 degrees Celsius. Now, we gotta move on and talk about Mars. So we know it's further away from the sun, so it's a bit cooler. But there are other reasons too. The atmosphere is thinner. It's 100 times thinner than Earth's. One reason is because there's less gravity. Yep, gravity holds down the atmosphere. Since Mars is a little bit smaller, it has 1/3 the gravity of Earth. Meaning if you were 100 pounds on Earth, you are only 33 pounds on Mars. But why does an atmosphere matter? Because it acts like a blanket, a thermal blanket to keep the heat in. And that's why Venus is the hottest planet, not Mercury, because its thick atmosphere. It's the thickest atmosphere of the planets close to the sun. So with Mars being 229 million kilometers away from the sun and having a very thin atmosphere, the average temperature is a chilly at negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 60 degrees Celsius. It gets much colder too. In the winter, at the poles, top and bottom, it gets as low as negative 195 degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 125 degrees Celsius. Wow, it does get warm though. A summer day, so we need these, at the equator could be a pleasant 70 degrees Fahrenheit, or 20 degrees Celsius. That's not too bad, right? Well, that same spot during a summer night gets down to negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 73 degrees Celsius. Yeah, not too pleasant. You don't want to live there, no. Now, I've said winter and summer. Yes, Mars has seasons, like we have seasons here on Earth, and it has the same amount. It has 4 seasons. Spring, summer, fall, and winter, but they're longer. So Mars takes 23 months to go around the sun, where Earth just takes 12 months. So the seasons are longer. Mars's spring is 7 months long, summer and fall are both 6 months long, and winter is a nice short 4 months long. Now during the winter, we talked about this a little bit earlier, we've got frost that forms on rock and ice forming at the poles. Here we go, we got the North Pole, the South Pole. See these white patches? Yeah, that's the polar ice caps on Mars, just like we have on Earth. South Pole, North Pole, a bunch of ice. But it's not water ice like we have here on Earth. It's carbon dioxide ice, also known as dry ice. And you know what? I've got some right here. So check this out. You would need tongs or some gloves to hold it because it's so cold. Look at this. You can see the smoke coming off the top. So I got some dry ice right here. Now, how is it different? So water ice is water, H2O, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbon dioxide ice is carbon dioxide. Let's do a little experiment. Got some water as proof. Drink it, and we got regular ice. These are perfectly normal ice cubes. Just pull them out of the fridge. Pop in the water, what's gonna happen? They float, right? You see them float there and it just cools down. Get a nice icy drink. But what if we do the same thing with carbon dioxide ice, with dry ice? So I got my water here. Need my special tongs. Let's do the big one. Here we go. We got the big piece right here. You ready? What? Look at that. Oh my gosh, you can't even see it because there's so much smoke. If I move the smoke away, it's bubbling. You can see the dry ice is bubbling and it's not floating, it sinks because it's denser. It's denser in the water. And this is a really cool effect you can do during Halloween to create some neat smoke that's going on out there. So that's the dry ice. This is the stuff that's at Mars on the poles. So you can't just pop it in your water and have a drink. You don't want to be doing that. So look at all that cool smoke. It's just vapor. This is a really cool experiment. But what I think is actually even more cool is that in 2008, the Phoenix Mars lander looked up and saw snow coming from Martian clouds. Wow, yeah, it snows on Mars. So who wants to go sledding? Always. Be curious.